Gonna be jumping on into this. A fresh best of 3, another PvZ. And spawning. In the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have arguably the best Protoss player in all of the world, not just South Korea, representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. And spawning. In the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Alpha X. It is RagnaroK. Hold on, let me fix that. Huh. Oh, that's not. Un momento, papi, un momento. There we go. Bam! You love to see it, love to see it. The power of ABS. So yeah, another ZVP, one that's gonna be quite different, I imagine. RagnaroK, he is a wild card, even more wild than Dark. Dark can seem sane at times. There's logic to the madness. With RagnaroK, not as much. Is more of a hyper aggressive Zerg player, a little bit cheesier than Dark as well. And we'll see how he shapes up against herO. Again, herO and RagnaroK have a pretty storied history with each other. For those of you that weren't around during the Kesper era of StarCraft, both RagnaroK and herO were teammates back in the day. They were both on CJ Entus, and they were good friends. Even recently on Instagram, they posted pictures of like like them hanging out. Not just of RagnaroK, it was RagnaroK, herO, Bunny as well. I want to say Bjell showed up. Kind of like an old like CJ Entus meetup. It was really cool to see, like in modern era StarCraft, seeing these old players, these old teammates come together. So it was really cool to see. Shout out to the players. Like quite a lot of them have Instagram accounts. You can get a little bit of insight into what they do. So yeah, it's really cool to see them hanging out whenever they can. And I don't really know if they practice with each other anymore. They used to quite a bit, obviously. They were on CJ together. But nowadays, not too sure here. Not too sure. I know RagnaroK isn't as active as herO is, for example. RagnaroK, he doesn't show up in anywhere near as many online tournaments. Only every now and then, which is why it's always a treat. It's always a treat whenever we cast RagnaroK or Armani or Dongregu. Like, again, they're just not as active as Dark, for example. So, whenever we can, I want to cast them. I want to cast them. Hey. As we have some pretty standard openers all around here. Stargate opener from herO. And even though herO did popularize the quote-unquote herO style of PvZ, he has been mixing it up quite a lot recently. Kind of like Classic, you know, they've been experimenting with these other builds, with these other openers, with these other follow-ups as well. We'll see how that goes. As the first 4 Lings are going to be zooming across the map, trying to wreak a little bit of havoc here. Oh, can they get a probe? Up! Oh, they will get 1 probe. Not too bad. They also get a full scout of the main base and confirm the Oracle first. Oh my god, can they get a second? Not quite. But you know, 1 probe, full scout, Oracle's coming out as well. Not too bad. Gets a second probe as well in the main. I didn't even know there was a Ling remaining. So very nicely done here by RagnaroK. He should be well prepared for what's to come. And what is to come is Adepts. Adepts and Oracle zooming across them to try to harass and do some damage. This is going to be delaying that third base a little bit by herO. But again, I'm sure it's going to be well worth it if he's able to get some drone kills. We go. Adepts looking to shade in towards that triangular third. There are plenty of Lings though to meet up with them, so they're just going to head in between the bases instead, look to try to catch any transferring workers. But with the power of this Oracle, it's going to be difficult to really dive on them with these Lings. We do see herO threatening that main base, does commit to the shade to the safety of the Oracle. And yeah, we can just kind of leapfrog and like vary these Adepts to safety, forcing a pretty big reaction, and RagnaroK with all these Lings is going to be going across the map. Oh my god. Meanwhile, back at home, what do we have to defend the second Oracle? Does find some drone kills. 3 drones going to be going down here at the third base. Spore just barely not done in time. Ling's going to be catching an Adept as well, which is nice, don't get us wrong. Does force a warp in. We shouldn't really get too much here. They're going to try and threaten a cancel on the third base, but we have our Adepts, we have our Oracles as well. Lings are forced away. And you can already see the dichotomy, or like the difference here between Stats and herO, where Stats was like hyper like defensive with his setup and very passive with his initial oracles to begin with, just making sure that he gets his third up and running. herO a lot more risky, I would say. Looking for that damage. As the triple oracle gets across the map. Behind this, we do have our Forge. Sorry, we do have our Twilight Council, but no Forge, which is a little bit odd. Uh-oh. So there we go. Our Queen is going to get targeted down. The power of triple oracle. We get one Queen. We can get another. Oh, we just barely will not. No, we will. Oh, as we trade out, we get 3 Queens for 1 Oracle alongside 2 drones. Not a bad trade here for herO. As herO is going to be looking to be very aggressive. He shades across the map. Ooh, an ill-advised shade as he's going to be surrounded by these Lings. A good catch by RagnaroK. But herO does have a bit of a gateway explosion here. And because there's no Forge, he's not going to be looking for a longer game. He's not going to be looking for those upgrades. Once Blink is done, he's going to be pushing out with a hefty amount of Stalkers. We're going to have 7 gates in total. Third base getting fully saturated. Now, the one downside is that the Oracles are kind of trapped, and we only have 2 of them instead of 3. Oh my god, RagnaroK is going for a Spire. Bold move, Poppy, bold move. We'll see if we can survive long enough to actually get into meta play. As RagnaroK is going to be going for a much more heavier Roach Ravager composition. Things rocking up across the map, but they do run into a wall of Stalkers. There's that Forge very late, all things considered, but it's on the way. And we can see what herO lacks in a Forge, he makes up for in Stalkers. He wants to push out, he wants to find some damage. He doesn't have a Prism, so he can't reinforce, but he does have Sentries for Force Fields. Here we go, the Lings go for a counterattack, but the wall is a wall. herO is solid back at home. Meanwhile, across the map, we have those Force Fields reducing the surface area. The Lings are having a hard time engaging. And the Roaches aren't out yet. They are on the way, though. Meanwhile, we do have enough energy for another Force Field, and there it is. The Stasis Trap is being thrown down behind this. Only going to be going down on 1 Ling, though. And with that, herO is going to be forced back. This could have been a lot worse. This could have been a lot worse for RagnaroK. Oh, no, the sentries are stuck. Because of that stasis Ling. But yeah, RagnaroK, he only loses 5 workers. But there are a lot of Blink Stalkers, though. So be careful not to lose too much here, as +1 is on the horizon. herO reinforcing from across the map. And he's just going for a 4th. I think what I'm most impressed by is that we don't have a robo. This is all without a robo, no observer, no prism, more importantly. So herO, he's just been warping in back at home and just waddling across the map. And to be fair, Dragon Scales is one of the smaller maps in the map pool, so it makes sense that he can do this. It's just, yeah, you don't see it too often. As herO's going to be rotating over towards the right-hand side. The Oracle drawing RagnaroK's army towards the left. And here we go. We blink on 4. There's no creep connecting the bases here. It looks like this hatchery is going to go down. Very quick moves here by herO. And there aren't that many Lings either. It looks like RagnaroK is going to try and catch this army. Oh, but here... the Jinx, Poppy, the Jinx. RagnaroK going for a massive counterattack. Do we have a recall available? As RagnaroK doesn't commit. He's still worried about that army. And there it is. There is that recall. So nice moves by herO, kind of avoiding the army overall, able to hide from RagnaroK. Gets away with everything. And now we do have that +1. Now we do have that robo on the way to get into the Prism, get into even Colossi production if need be, or even Immortals. And yeah, the way that herO has just been able to maneuver this army has been insane. It's actually been crazy. What he has done, despite his limitations as well, like despite being quite limited in being able to reinforce across the map, how aggressive he's been has been Really impressive. And now herO, he's ahead in bases, he's ahead in economy, ahead in workers. RagnaroK, after losing that fourth, I kind of wanted him to double expand to try and catch back up. Instead though, he just took his fourth and he's going to be focusing on his tech instead. Yeah, the infestation pit as well as a Hydra den. Looks like he wants to go into lurkers. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make use of the Spire. A bit of a feels bad, man. But here we go, the mass stalkers have arrived. 46 stalkers. That's a lot of stalkers. Now, everything will change once the lurkers do hit the field. Like, lurkers are a great defensive unit, and without things like immortals or disruptors or skytoss, it can be really difficult to break on through these defensive lurker lines. But the lurker den is still on the way, and before that happens, herO, I believe he's going to be the first to max. Or he's going to be maxing soon, I should say. Meanwhile, I think it's really clear that RagnaroK needs to refine his army, so he's going to be throwing away as many of these roaches as he can. Goes for a counterattack, shuts down some of these cannons, shield batteries. It's some damage. Likewise, the Zealot Runby on the right-hand side also gets caught out. And as we lose roaches, we replace them with Hydras. Not just that, but we also need some free supply so we can actually morph in the lurkers. Not bad here by RagnaroK. There we go, 9 lurkers are in production. Likewise, herO has also teched up into a bay and he's got double disruptor production going on as well. So he will have an answer to these lurkers. Not the best answer, but an answer nonetheless. herO is still sharking around with his army. Does he have detection? No, he does have an observer. Yeah, it's with his army, never mind. He does have an observer with his army. Lurkers have been revealed, even a revelation as well. And herO's got some options. He has a very mobile army here. He can try and dive on top of these lurkers at any moment. Gotta be looking for another way in. Behind this, we're just getting everything else. We got Storm, we got Dark Shrine, DTs. Whatever you need, fam. Whatever you need. Oh. As this is happening, we do have a Zealot Runby on the left-hand side, and we have lurkers to clean this up, but it's going to take a little bit too long, and 9 drones are going to be going down. 11 even. The Prism sneaking into the main base as well. RagnaroK has eyes on this at least. It does have roaches in the main. But at the same time, herO, he dives on this army, takes down a decent chunk of those lurkers. And herO, oh, what have I found myself in? herO is going to be taking to the skies. We have our second Stargate and a fleet beacon on the way. We are going into Skytoss. Oh, let's go, Papi. Let's go. Will we need to go that far, though? Is the Novas going to be going off, and there are splits? Oh my god, almost every single Ravager goes down. 2 lurkers as well. RagnaroK not quite paying attention, maybe a little bit too distracted by his own counterattack. Oh. He's looking to once again throw away these roaches. And unfortunately, there are High Templar to defend with Storm. Oh god! Nice pickups here by RagnaroK. Taking down 3 of those High Templar. Meanwhile, we're going to be forced to recall here. herO trying to catch these roaches. He will. But again, these are acceptable losses. Like, RagnaroK wants to get rid of these roaches. The biggest thing that I'm concerned by is that the roaches weren't quite able to go up the ramp. They didn't see the Cybercore researching. He doesn't know about the carriers. As far as RagnaroK is aware, he's up against Ground Toss. Thankfully, he does have a Spire from the early game, so he has the ability to transition into Corruptors. But he doesn't know that he needs them. He doesn't know that he needs those upgrades. Here we go, a massive lurker counterattack on the left-hand side. Likewise, another Zealot Runby as well. herO, can he keep up? He already recalled, it's on cooldown. And hopefully RagnaroK doesn't lose too many of his lurkers. There we go, as we're taking down a decent chunk of the production. Novas are going to be going off as well. No reactions, the lurkers are going to go down. At the same time, RagnaroK, he doesn't care, he's going for another counterattack. Oh no! But the stasis trap holds the line. The wall of Lings is just a little bit too good, and RagnaroK, he's forced to slow down. He rotates around, finds another angle, and this may force the carriers to reveal themselves. Here we go, the carriers have arrived. And despite how committed RagnaroK has been with these big pushes, he hasn't really done too much economic damage. 5 probes going to be going down. The Hydras are getting on top of the carriers at least. Oh, herO overextending. And it looks like this 4th base is going to go down. The 5th base even. Yeah, the lurkers are just a little bit too good and there just weren't enough carriers. Oh. Speaking of, the carrier count is slowly getting higher and higher, but herO needs more time. Meanwhile, we have a second Spire on the way. Hopefully RagnaroK remembers that he has the first one. Hopefully. We're going to be pulling a Dark. Ooh, and this Stellar Rumba is actually forcing everything to turn around. Regardless, RagnaroK containing herO to 4 bases is already a bit of a win here. Like, he's doing quite well for himself. He's got that Spire on the way to get into Corruptors. The lurkers once again out-positioning herO. Nova's going to be going off, and they do get some of the lurkers, but this base is under threat, and I think it's going to go down. Oh, this army from herO is just too clunky. It just can't get in. And there we go, herO. He gets knocked down to 3 bases. Who needs Corruptors? Nah, we don't need it. We don't need Corruptors. We don't need Vipers. Again, there just weren't enough carriers. Oof. And herO doesn't really have the economy to sustain this. Like, he's got a decent army, don't get us wrong. And RagnaroK is looking a little bit vulnerable here. I feel like it's make or break. Like, herO, he has to push and he has to deal some critical damage with this army. What do we have? We have 4 Archons. We have 6 High Templar. They all have Storm. Bear that in mind. But how many lurkers do we have? 1. We are down to, okay, 4 lurkers. I think some of them are, yeah, on the left-hand side. And harassing across the map. More lurkers are on the way. Our Vipers to yoink the Disruptors, or even the carriers. Oh, and there we go. The Imp-Ducks are real. 2 of these Disruptors are going to be going down. And we cannot break in. herO, he had to make something happen here, but he's stuck on 3 bases. Barely a 3-base economy even, because he's running out of resources. Long distance mining. He was honestly doing really well for himself, but the lurker play just pulled herO apart. RagnaroK was all over him. And from here, I don't really know how herO comes back. Like, the problem is that herO needs time. He needs time to get this 4th base up and running and actually saturate it. The problem is that RagnaroK is maxed. And he should be moving out. He should not be giving herO that time. Wait, meanwhile, here we go. We have the Greater Spire on the way. +1 flyer attack as well. Let's go. We saw the Spire. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. And RagnaroK just has to be careful not to be too passive. Like, he's got eyes on the new 5th base on the way. Oh, he's got D.Va. I forgot, but RagnaroK does have D.Va. Can confirm. The announcer even. And yeah, I mean, the 4th is slowly getting back up and running. If herO can get this 5th up, then he can come back in this game. He shouldn't, though. It's a big should, though. So here we go. RagnaroK is going for a counter attack. He's going to be focusing down the Nexus, and yeah, he will force a cancel. All he needed to do. Oh! Meanwhile, we're sharking around for more of these carriers as well. We get them ducked. We get a carrier. Carriers that, again, herO can't really afford to lose. He is about to max out, to be fair. I don't really know if this is the ideal army. Oh my god, that's a lot of Archons. 7 Archons for herO. Hero's rotating around looking for another way in. We have another abduct. The feedback was 1 second too late. As herO moves out, he once again just leaves his bases vulnerable back at home. Oh my god, the target firing doesn't get the carrier. Just barely. Oh, do we have a revelation? Do we have something? Anything? The Nova! Ah! No, we miss! We missed the revelation! Oh, that was 2 revelations as well. How? That one lurker. Thankfully for herO, he didn't lose any High Templar, but that was brutal. He just overshot it. Here we go, the lurker just repositioning here. We're kind of running out of energy for these revelations. There we go. Finally, we get it. And again, it just goes to show how far behind herO is, because even though herO is about to max out, which is true, he doesn't have the spare resources for stack defense. You know, cannons, shield batteries, which is what we should typically be seeing here on these fringe bases. Because he doesn't have them, RagnaroK can abuse him. And here we go, we've transitioned out of lurkers and into broodlords. Broodlords are going to be able to bully herO back. We have Tempest on the way, which can change things. It does have that 5th on the way. There's no... Oh, my Zerg senses are tingling. And they're telling me that herO has found himself back in this game. God. He was down to 3 bases. Down to 3 bases against the 5 of RagnaroK. Somehow, some way, herO persevered. His army's just getting better and better. We see him just throwing away some of these Stalkers. He knows that, again, the era of the Stalker's come and gone. He takes down a Viper. Already great snipes here for herO. A Queen as well. And we're going full Skytoss. We have our Tempest, Void Rays, Carriers. Void Rays on the way soon with Flux Veins. And when it comes to RagnaroK's army, I mean, we do have a decent force here. We've got 10 Broodlords, 18 Corruptors, 3 Vipers, and we have a Spore Forest. If RagnaroK can fight with the support of his Spores, like, he can win this. Like, he's looking for a fight right now, and he's slowly pushing towards the 5th base of herO. He's going to be forcing an engagement with those Spores. Oh, he even takes out the Sack Defense as well. RagnaroK just has to be careful not to overextend here. We do have a Yoink, but not quite going to be enough. The Storms do connect with not just the Broodlords, but also the Corruptors. Again, decent trades here from herO, but he did end up losing his support. He lost a lot of his shield batteries, lost his cannons. RagnaroK going to be going for a Roach Hydra counterattack. Oh, and here we go. The Tempest flying 2 Coasts of the Sun. One of them's going to be going down, but these Corruptors are so battered and bruised. The Storms, they've been really adding up. And because of that, I think herO can maybe take a fight here. He's pushing into all of these Spores. The Corruptors, they can't really engage. And neither can the Broodlords. And we still have even more Storms. Meanwhile, behind this, the Hydra counterattack has done a lot of damage. We have taken down one of the bases. We've taken down 14 workers. The Fungals do connect, but there is no follow-up. Only take down the shields. But these Hydras, they need to be dealt with. The Hydras and the Lurkers. Like, this has gotten out of hand. They took down bottom left. They take down a center left as well. Up. Oh, yeah, the Lurkers are finally going to be brought down by these Zealots. Now, what is scary is that RagnaroK didn't lose his army. And what I mean by that is that RagnaroK has a massive bank, so he can rebuild, he can remax. But because the army is still alive, and because it's so weakened, it's so softened up, if we have one big fight that RagnaroK loses, then herO can have so much momentum, he can just snowball from there. Here we go, the spores are going down one after the other, the storms as well, blanketing not just the broodlords, but the corruptors once again as well. The carriers are going down one after the other, but oh god. herO is looking to chase him down. We have so many storms available, every single corruptor. Oh, they go down. And there's that remax. RagnaroK, 16 corruptors are on the way. Now before they pop, herO has a window. He can do some damage. What's he going to be doing with that time? He's going to be hunting down more of these corruptors, but it looks like he just doesn't have the momentum he needs to take down one of these bases. And RagnaroK is going to be able to rebuild his army. herO, not so much. He lost every single one of his Archons. He's still got a lot of storms though. Jesus, how many High Templar did this guy have? It's crazy. It's actually insane. Here we go. The Banelings are coming in from the left-hand side. They want to connect with the High Templar, but they will not get close. The hatchery is going to be going down. We have storms available. Ling's getting ready to come in from the right-hand side. All right, here we go. We're diving on forward. The Corruptors are getting on top of the High Templar, on top of the carriers even. And it looks like there is too much Zerg. herO gets swallowed up. The supply is still really close though. herO loses his carriers, but he still has a ground army. Oh no, the move command! Oh no. The Archons go down. The Nexi go down. Both players are hurting really badly, but herO needs this Nexus. We have the overcharge. He barely holds on to his mining base. Half a mining base. Meanwhile, the Corruptors are looking to try and catch some of these reinforcing units, but we have given up on the Sky Toss. We're going for the Zealots, the Archons, the Stalkers. Do we have detection? We do! Oh, we blink on forward. We're taking down the Lurkers. We're trying to. herO's making this work. Like, RagnaroK is down in supply. He has so much. He has too much supply in these Corruptors. They're not helping at all. Ay. With the ground toss, with barely a ground toss army, with a handful of units, mate, herO is pulling this off. The Corruptors, they're trying to take down this Nexus, and it looks like they finally should. But RagnaroK is down to 23 drones. The Nexus goes down. RagnaroK is remaxing here with roaches. GG gets called. herO taps out and RagnaroK takes game number 1. Oh my god, that was getting scary. herO, no mining bases left. He could only long distance mine. And the reinforcing roaches are barely enough. GG. My heart, puppy. Not like this, not like this. GG, well played. RagnaroK takes game number 1. Just barely though, to be honest. Like, he had the lower worker counts. He had bases. He had Corruptors that weren't doing too much. GG. GG. Oh. The things you have to do for a win, Papi. Crazy game, Papi. Crazy. Congratulations, RagnaroK does take the first game, but that was merely game number 1. We have more where that came from. Oh. And speaking of having more where that came from, I believe I am to be joined by someone else. By another Duckling. Speaking of, welcome the casting cat himself, the AsherBro. Hello, Papi, hello.
Let's go. I'm so sad that I missed Super Late Games EVP. Oh no. Oh no.
I was trying to bait you into it.
What a shame.
You're an animal, Papi. You're an animal. But it was crazy, Poppy. It was worth it. It was worth it. Aye.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh my god. But yeah. So to catch you up a little bit, we did put a series on hold. We were about to jump into Beyond versus Classic. That is the first semifinals match available here. As Beyond took down Stats to get to the next round, and Classic took down Dark. So we do have them waiting in the semifinals. But you know, because we had to wait for the Terran, we have one more ZVP ahead of us. Uno más, papi. Uno más. Oh.
Potentially one.
Yeah, but true. I mean,
Could be two.
Could be. Hopefully.
You never know. There's no way of knowing.
Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. So yeah, we're gonna be getting into game number 2. RagnaroK clutching it out in game 1, and you know, just for you, Poppy, I hope we get another late game.
That's fine. It's so mean, lad.
What do you mean?
Why do you hate me?
What are you talking about? Oh my god. Oh, you left me
Get
alone,
into it.
Poppy. You said 8 p.m.
Oh, rough and tumble. Why does he say that?
We're about to have a good time, Poppy.
What are you tricking me into?
Don't worry about it, Ash. Don't worry about it. Just let it happen.
Okay.
I believe this should be fine. This should be fine. Hold on, I'm getting your.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
Yeah,
It's usually fun.
Yeah. You've had a bit of rough and tumble before, I see.
Yeah. As long as you got a safe word, like it normally works out okay.
Oh, what's our safe word?
No,
we don't need one.
banana fritte. Oh god. Oh no. Fuck. As spawning in the top right hand corner of the map, playing for DKZ, it is the best Protoss in the world, South Korean, smiling assassin. It is herO.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have the South Korean Zerg player fighting tooth and nail for game number 1, Poppy, for 30 minutes. Oh. We have representing Alpha X, it is RagnaroK.
Can't believe you've done this.
What do you mean, Poppy? What do you mean?
I saw the game link fly it. I saw it. It wanted to be seen. Some things are never meant to be seen, lad.
Oh, I haven't seen it. To be fair, I haven't seen it. I have the option selected where I can't see the length of replays.
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah.
I should do that.
Yeah, live in ignorance.
How do you do that? Is it in options?
It's in options, yeah. It's in replay. It's in the replay.
In
Options.
replay.
Yeah.
Display replay time info. Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
There you go. See, now you don't know.
Solved.
Now
Yeah,
you-
now I've just memory wiped.
You
I
don't
was like,
know.
my goodness, that's so short.
It's beautiful, Poppy. It's beautiful. Don't worry about it. Just a bit
You
of
know,
rough
my
and tumble.
copium, my copium is that sometimes after the game's finished, they forget and leave the game open. It's happened before, like once or twice.
True. That has happened before. I think on a replay that we casted, right? Where
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's like a 40-minute game, and then it was like a 10-minute game.
Yeah.
The person just stayed in the replay.
it was literally a 10-minute game, and the person that won just walked away.
Yeah. They smashed their keyboard. They had to go to the store, buy a new keyboard, come back, plug it back in, and then leave the replay.
Beautiful, Poppy. Beautiful. You love to see it. Well, that's obviously what's going to happen here. As we are getting into game number 2, of course, game 1 was quite intense. herO opened up, you know, as he usually does with a herO style, did delay his forge, went into a heavier Blink Stalker composition, was hyper aggressive with it, and eventually RagnaroK got into Hive, got into Lunkers. He slowed the game down, and we got what you love. We got Sky Toss, Poppy. Oh.
He had to do it. He was just trying to survive, honestly.
He actually was.
He was, yeah.
He just wanted to survive, Poppy. It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
It really isn't. But herO is going to be going across the map now, going for a little bit of a scout. We have this Overlord beautifully perched on the podium, right in the center of the map here. I didn't know that was a pillar, but it's very aesthetic.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It sees everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah. As yeah, there's Adept going to be running in, trying to abuse the fact that these two bases are split apart from each other here.
And did force the unnatural natural out of RagnaroK, and oh my god, gonna be abusing the
That's
high
cute.
ground as well. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, that's a cute little move there. So you can go for that extra damage here. Does get a drone already, so pretty solid damage so far from herO. I mean, he is one of these players who is just so attentive and so fast with his units. You usually expect him to get a little bit of damage here and there.
Yeah, exactly. You know, one drone, not too bad. And plenty more to come, though. Plenty more to come, as the first Oracle is going to be zooming across the map. We're not going to be worried about keeping it back at home to defend against any kind of Ling counterattacks. herO is free to expand, and his Adept at least is back at home to make sure that's safe and sound.
Yeah, exactly. So herO going to be dipping in. It takes a couple of drones, but going to be taking a pretty decent amount of damage on that Oracle as well. So feels like a pretty even trade.
Yeah, the whole damage is quite hefty on that Oracle. Gets 2 drones, but now we're about to have a second Oracle. We have a third Oracle behind this as well, so pretty standard setup from here. We should be getting into, you know, the tried and true Twilight Council and Forge.
Yeah, right as you say it, down it goes. And this is pretty standard stuff. The 3 Oracle opening is something that has been popular for quite a while now. It's very safe. It lets you get your third very early and gives you a lot of scouting potential as well as... Oh! herO almost losing his Oracle there. That would have been very uncharacteristic, but RagnaroK, he's played it safe. He's got spores in every base, and he's positioned his queens quite well.
Really has. Also, I wish I saw this more, because I know you missed it, but Dark got smoged earlier by Classic. Classic, he did the Firefly move. He went Stargate into Glaive Adepts.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
It was terrifying.
The Protoss players are getting creative
Yeah.
about how they go into Glaive Adepts.
Yeah.
The solution is never not go Glaive Adepts. It's just be more tricky about it. But herO in this game actually not going to be opening Blink. He's going Charge first. And this is a variation that we've been seeing from time to time where you have a little bit of a charge timing with 2 Archons and a Prism.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this has kind of been forming the new meta here of PvZ to kind of be, in a way, a counter to the Ling Bane heavy compositions that have been blind counters to the Blink Stalkers. So we'll see how herO does with this. Meanwhile, in my mind, as soon as you were talking about like the ways to get into Adepts, I just see like a massive wall and a big flow chart, and just everything just points to Adepts, you know?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
It's just all you really do. You just roll a dice and you pick how many gates you're going to go for.
Yeah. In to win, Papi, in to win.
Of course.
Oh god, but there is that Prism on the way, but herO is going for a bit of a different variation here. Like, he has the Prism to be aggressive, but we're going into a fast robotics bay behind this as well, so we're taking up quite heavily. We're not going to be as, again, committed to the charge lot push.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Zerg chart as well is a lot less complicated. You can't confuse Zerg players. You got to keep it simple. It just says drone and queen and then win.
Drone queen into win, Papi, into win.
Yeah, exactly. You said it.
True.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Terran is man with gun.
Yeah. Pew pew.
Yeah. But one Oracle of Heroes does go down here on the right-hand side, so not the best control, not the best movement there or attention to detail by herO. Hasn't really done too much economic damage either. Meanwhile, the Prism is rocking up on the left-hand side, but RagnaroK has eyes on this.
Yeah, flew straight over that Overlord that's been in the middle of the map this whole time. RagnaroK has actually made pretty hefty amount of Ling Roach, so there's really not much herO can or needs to do here. So herO recognizing that both players are on a pretty similar work account is just going to be transitioning from here, and we see a Phoenix. Okay. I remember seeing him do this actually, just to clear up the Overlords.
Yeah,
kind of cute.
It's such a weird timing as well, but just randomly one Phoenix just to fly around and kill some stuff. And I guess it makes sense because he doesn't have Blink, right?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't got Blink. He's kind of found all the Overlords on the map just through the process of moving around with the Prism and with the Observer and the Oracles as well.
There you go, so he's going to be looking to hunt them all down, but actually we have a second Phoenix on the way behind this, so interesting that he's committing a little bit harder to Phoenix production. Meanwhile, it wasn't the biggest of deals that he wasn't able to do too much damage with his charge ults as he is transitioning. Oh my god, another Oracle goes down.
Yeah, he just runs that Oracle straight over the Queens and loses it straight up. I mean, if he wasn't so low on supply, I would say that he did it on purpose, but it looks like he was just busy with something else at the time.
Yeah, he doesn't like his oracles. It's fine. All on purpose, Papi, as the Nova's going to be going off, and oh, again, a little bit mistimed. Only grazes one of those queens. The queens will survive, and RagnaroK is getting close to maxing out here on Lingbane Roach Ravager.
He is, but the Oracle here is going to get a very important scout. It sees all of the Banelings that have been morphed in, so he knows that the Banelings are preparing for this big timing here. Looks like RagnaroK might want to wait a tiny bit longer just for +2 to kick in, but he is setting up to go for something very aggressive. Even more Banelings being morphed in here, so he really wants to get something done here. He sees an opening.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to be sending everything across at the same time. herO is going to be meeting him here in the middle of the map. He's got his disruptors. He's looking for his opening. War Prism Speed is done as well. And RagnaroK, he's shying away from this.
Yeah, he's a little bit put off just by the confidence of herO here, but I mean, pure Bane against pure Zealot, not an easy one for the Protoss to micro. He does have these Archons and Disruptors set up here, but both players just kind of skirmishing back and forth, trying to throw each other out of position, trying to put the fear in each other.
What we just saw was like herO beating his chest. He's like, come at me, bro, and he just doesn't have anything behind it, and it worked. He scared RagnaroK. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I feel like if these armies fought each other straight up, herO would get decimated.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But I guess, you know, you got to respect the balls, you got to respect the disruptors. Like herO, he's got to have confidence for a reason. As here we go, RagnaroK is going to lay siege upon this triangular third.
Yeah, the Baneling's going to be running in towards these probes here, getting some really solid damage despite +2 not quite being finished yet. And with that supply being freed up, we see RagnaroK going very quickly into a Greater Spire, getting those Vipers, getting the Corruptors as well. So he is transitioning rather quickly here. He kind of says, if herO doesn't want to fight me, if he doesn't want to trade out units, then I can just sit on this army and I can start to tech into something much, much better.
Oh, it's your favorite. It's your favorite, Papi. We're going into Broodlords and herO's throwing down some more Stargates.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this makes sense from herO, to be fair, but from RagnaroK, there was a window where maybe he could have crashed upon one of these bases and tried to break herO then and there, but again, it looks like he's not really feeling too confident about his chances. He's once again pushing on in, though, into Disruptors.
Yeah, he's going to pull the trigger there. Nova's not the best from herO there, and now all of his units are a little bit bruised, which is not ideal. I think he'd rather not have the Zealots and have this many wounded Zealots, but he's going to be moving forward with the Archon as well, maybe to clear up a little bit of creep here. And this map, it's just so big and open through the middle. Clearing this creep is such a monumental task.
Oh god, it really is, and we can't really do too much about it. The creep, the map itself is covered by RagnaroK. He's coming in once again with a massive Baneling army. Something that's putting me off a little bit here is that RagnaroK has been focusing on these big main pushes. He hasn't really sent out any like Baneling or Ling run-bys here to try and pull apart herO. He's just been focusing on the main army.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird. It's such a big map, but there's only really 2 avenues of attack. I mean, you can attack this third or the fourth, but only from these narrow-ish ramps, and he's just not really able to find an angle that would be even remotely a decent trade. But herO, he is going to make the action happen himself. He sends in a big Zealot run by 7 drones going down already. Unfortunately, those Zealots all get baited into those Banelings, so they will be going down, but he definitely wants to replace these with better suppliers, so I don't mind this for him, and even for RagnaroK, getting to get rid of the Banelings like this is pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely. You know, nicely done by RagnaroK as well. He does focus down the Prism, he takes down the Adepts, but herO was able to get a pretty crucial scout off. He did confirm the Hive, he did get eyes on the Greater Spire. He knows that his opponent is also transitioning into Broodlords, into Corruptors, and yeah, we're just going to be meeting each other in that late game.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see RagnaroK getting rid of these Roaches. I suppose the Banelings and Ravagers can still be useful, but these Roaches definitely are not going to be too useful.
Yeah, we need to shave them off here, and RagnaroK is looking to do so. He does push out on the left-hand side of that, but he runs into a wall of cannons, he runs into a stasis trap as well, and he'll be losing these Roaches, but maybe not the most efficient of trades.
Yeah, not efficient at all so far. herO taking some fantastic trades here. RagnaroK getting a little bit unlucky, not guessing which side that the 5th was going to be on as well, but oh, these Banelings, okay, they almost ended up on top of those Disruptors.
Oh god, almost got those connections, but not quite in the end. They do get cleaned up. Carriers have arrived. We have the mama ship, -400, -400. You'd love to see it. herO is taking his half of the map, and this is the biggest difference between last game. I know you
Oh,
weren't
boy.
quite. I know you weren't quite watching, but in game number 1, herO he lost his 4th and his 5th. RagnaroK was doing such a great job at just staying on top of his economy. Meanwhile, we do have one big engagement. Novas are going to be going off. Do take down a big chunk of Roach Ravager. The mothership goes down.
Yeah, great Novas. The mothership does go down. It looks like it's not going to be remade, which I'm a fan of. Going to replace it instead with some carriers here, getting Storm, +2 weapons, getting some extra robos as well. So pretty much just going into 100% late game production. We can see RagnaroK as well, already getting rid of some drones, turning those into spores. So both players just skipping as fast as they can into the late game. It's, I guess, when you have a big late game the game before, the two different things you can do is say that you're sick of it and, you know, go for a cheese the next game, or you can go, well, I've seen that you're willing to go to late game, so I'm just going to outgreed you and get a head start on that.
Yeah, exactly. And it does feel like RagnaroK has gotten here in a much more efficient manner. You know, we've already got a decent Broodlord count. We've got 9 Broodlords. We have 7 Infestors, 2 Vipers, 18 Corruptors. This is the ideal army. But can he control it well enough? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, absolutely. As herO is looking to start to diversify his army a little bit, getting Blink DTs on the way. And I do think that as much as we don't see it that much in PvZ, Blink DT runbys could actually be kind of strong in this position.
Oh yeah, they can be insane at sniping some of these fringe bases, but before that happens, the Broodlords are laying siege upon this forward base of herO. It's going to be going down, and these Broodlords are protected and covered by the Spore Forest.
Yeah, and herO's just going to ignore this. I mean, he knows that there's all that static defense there. He doesn't want to charge on into that, so he's going to be trying to clear out all of this creep through the center of the map.
Yeah, we have some nice feedbacks as well. 2 Infestors go down immediately. We see a lot of these spores being cleaned up as well. We have one big fungal on these carriers, but no follow-up though. Up.
Yeah, Nova going to be sent out. They do pick up one Infestor, but the Broodlords are catching out the Disruptors here. They're getting a little bit stuck on each other and not really able to get out of there without losing almost every Disruptor there. He'll be pretty quick to regain those. Actually going for a Mothership again.
I was about to say that, to be fair, I think we want to get rid of the Disruptors in this stage of the game. I don't think they're the most useful unit right now. But okay. Are they more useful than a Mothership though? Maybe.
Yeah, hard to say, but I think, yeah, like you're saying, a lot of this probably going to revolve more around High Templars and the Disruptors, getting those money feedbacks on the Infestors, and maybe a good Storm on the Corruptors. That can really change the complexion of a fight.
Oh, and I love this recall as well. He drew the entire army to the bottom left, and he recalls to the top right as well. He was able to hold on to this base, and he's pushing on forward. The Banelings do crash into some of those High Templar, but this Spore Forest is going to go down.
Yeah, great moves by herO here. Really clever play, and it's something that, especially on a map that's so enormous like this one, it's something that you definitely want to look to abuse. I would really like to see him as well using the Mothership for that purpose.
Yeah, that would be amazing if he was able to pull apart RagnaroK doing that. Really though, I mean, hopefully the Mothership is able to pay off in that way. And that Spore Forest that we've seen before, again, even the creep shred has been receded, so RagnaroK is going to have to work on rebuilding that, replanting that.
Oh, so many of those drones had gold minerals in their hands. Oh. It's so wasteful. Lazy.
Oh, smooch, papi, smooch. As the spores are on the way, but herO, he's just expanding elsewhere, taking more bases on the left-hand side of the map. Speaking of herO, also moving out with his army as well.
Why so lazy?
Did you go back and watch some of those videos?
I didn't. Okay. I'm not going to either. But here we go. herO going to be pushing towards the left side. Finds another Spore Forest here, so looks like he's mainly going to be committing his supply to clearing these out.
Yeah, and once
Great
again,
feedbacks.
The feedbacks were insane. Only one Infestor survives with a decent amount of energy. And what's important is that from this point, we can recall once again. The Mothership is waiting on the top right-hand corner of the map.
Yoink. Corrupt are going to be sent away here. herO now repositioning just to protect his units with those storms. This feels like a very vulnerable army, but a storm or two can change everything here. He just has to be very careful how he positions, and this is a pretty scary moment for the Protoss.
It really is, but you know what? The Broodlords aren't really covering these Corruptors. They do get one of the carriers, and it looks like we get a powerbomb on this army as well. We may just need to get the hell out of here. There's that recall.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to be recalling. Where is he recalled to? He recalled to...
Small Forest.
I'll find him.
Right-hand side.
Oh, he got there so quickly.
Yeah. The mothership. It was the mothership recall.
Yeah, right-hand side going to be completely cleared up here. Base goes down, gold base goes down, Spore Forest being decimated. I really love the addition of these few zealots as well. They're going to make quick work of the buildings. He is going to back off as the army of RagnaroK responds, but these Broodlords, despite the big speed buff they got, still taking a while to get from one side of the map to the other.
They do need to be faster, I agree. But yeah, once again, great use of the mothership there. You asked for it and we got it. We saw the recall immediately on top of the gold base, immediately to just take everything else down, and herO has just been pulling RagnaroK apart. On top of that, even a zealot run by in the bottom right hand corner of the map takes down another hatchery.
So where is the mothership? Did you lose it to spores?
Yeah, it died to spores. Like,
okay,
it recalled and it died like 1 second later.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. With its dying breath.
Recall.
Yeah, it was pretty heroic, to be honest. It was good.
He gets the light medal of honor.
There you go, Bobby. As hero's gonna keep on pushing forward. Another base is gonna be going down, and RagnaroK, he's down to 4 bases, 4 hatcheries. Oh, actually 3, to be honest. He's struggling to get his 4th up and running.
Yeah, its bottom left base is a bit of an interesting one. It is pretty much completely mined out, but this does send the creep spread way back, and RagnaroK is going to need to start grabbing some of these leftmost bases, and without the creep to connect to the bases, that's going to be a really difficult task. So hero's effectively just kind of pushing RagnaroK back into his corner of the map.
Yeah, he's just been bouncing between all these bases, taking down hatcheries left and right here, and RagnaroK is, in a way, starving out. He is maxed, don't get me wrong. RagnaroK is actually super maxed right now with only 47 drones, but he doesn't have the largest mineral bank, as he does find the mothership. Oh.
Yeah, dives straight on that mothership. Does not care at all. Those tanky Corruptors are going to be able to get out of there. No problems whatsoever. And we do see that being replaced, and I love this. herO adding some Tempests. So this is something that we saw nice using to great effect in IM Katowice, is when you do have these lockdown positions and the map starts to revolve around only 1 or 2 bases from each player, Tempest can be really effective because you kind of have these battle lines set up where it's cannons and batteries on one side, Spore Forest on the other side, and Tempest can be a really useful unit for breaking that kind of siege.
Oh yeah, definitely. They can be a very efficient unit as well. Speaking of efficiency, we do have the Fungals, finally the ones that we've been looking for. They do lock down the majority of those High Templar.
Yeah, the High Templar become very exposed there. The Archon's going to be kind of setting up that shield there to support them, to save them from the Banelings. Big recall going to be going down, and a couple Archons do die, but herO gets himself out of trouble after really backing himself into a corner there.
Yeah, that was a questionable move there from herO. Meanwhile, as he recalls to the left-hand side of the map, we have 2 DTs. 2 herO DTs that will kill this hive, by the way. Or will they?
Well, it's going to be pretty close. We do have the Cracklings trying to get on top of them. We have the Banelings as well. It's so close, but the Hive survives on 34 health. Only a couple swipes away from going down, but behind this herO just continuing to play around with his composition of his army, actually adding on a few Void Rays here to help deal with the Corruptors.
Yeah, I do think we need a better answer to these Corruptors. Like, the Archons have been having a hard time getting past these Broodlords, getting past these Broodlings, so I do love the addition of those Void Rays. Meanwhile, we do see the Broodlords pushing on forward here on the right-hand side. Finally, the economy of herO is going to be stifled in some way. Maybe I spoke too soon because herO is not too far behind.
Yeah, he does get caught a little bit out of position there, and with that, we have the Vipers coming in, getting those yoinks. Their feedback's not quite quick enough by herO. He is being thrown off a little bit by the terrain here, but he is going to be replacing these with Void Rays, with that Flux Veins. We are going to be getting that 2020 army that we do love so much.
There we go. It has returned. We have plenty of detection as well. A lot of these tumors are going to be going down. We do have the Infestors coming in. They do actually take control of one of the Archons.
It's like it's me, Freddy, We were hanging out just before. Give me a hug. They're like, no, man, you've changed.
I don't know what you're talking about, Protoss.
Fellow Protoss.
You don't even know my name anymore, Freddy.
Let's have no mouths together, brother.
Meanwhile, we do see another mothership going down at the same time. A massive Ling Ultra run by the right-hand side takes down the entire mineral line and the Nexus. Finally, again, the economy of herO is so down in some way, but he's still got a big bank and he's got another base to take advantage of as well.
Yeah, these ultras are a very nice inclusion. I really like this. That's going to beef up those run-bys of RagnaroK, and now RagnaroK continuing to add hatcheries to this right-hand side. He can completely take over here, and there's still some resources in this top right base if he can get that as well.
Yeah, there are definitely some resources to take advantage of, and he can take this base as well. Meanwhile, herO maybe a little bit indecisive about where he wants to be right now. Does he want to protect his right-hand bases? Does he want to be aggressive? Does he want to push in? Does he want to finish off the hive? Like, he's been a little bit idle with his army.
Yeah, I do feel like he could have taken this gold base on the left-hand side a little while ago.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's taking it now, but at this point, it is being confirmed by RagnaroK. He has changelings all over the place. He does see the new bases being taken, and he has a bit of a hit squad here. A lot of corruptors looking to maybe caustic spray something down.
Yeah, I suppose maybe he was worried about this mineral line getting harassed from behind by the Broodlords and not really being able to take the engagement in the middle of the map. But here we go. We're going to be seeing this little bit of a Void Ray run by. It does get spotted out by a changeling, so he'll think twice about it. But I think these are looking for the hive at some point.
100%. I was thinking the same thing. Like, that is a hive-killing Void Ray squad if I've ever seen one. We'll see if we do get there as herO consolidates his army. He's pushing out once again. Does come across the rebuilt, replanted Spore Forest. And oh my god, he gets a pretty good storm, taking down so many of those things are mainlings.
I mean, the funny thing about those Void Rays looking for the hive is it doesn't really make any difference if the hive's on 10 health or a full health.
True, don't kill it.
Here we go. We are going to be having the Infestors poking on forward. Really nice Yoinks by the Vipers. RagnaroK actually controlling this late game army beautifully.
Yeah, the Yoinks have been insane, just picking apart the army of herO, and he just hasn't really been able to get into position to try and feed back those Vipers or any kind of counterplay either. The Tempest have been doing what they can, but we actually get another recall. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, okay. So herO trying to throw a little bit of a loop here on the Zerg, and these Ultras, maybe as much as they were really good for the run by, might not be the kind of supply that RagnaroK wants right now. It's a little bit complicated what he's got going on here, and that RagnaroK, that Ultra just passing the wrong way for a moment
that
there.
little RagnaroK may just does get away in the end. What I was about to say is I really love, we don't see it often enough actually in this matchup, which is kind of crazy to think about, but herO has been so active with his army and so mobile with it. The way that he's been using these recalls, I'm not used to seeing it, to be honest. It's really cool how he's purposefully just bouncing between one end to the other end of the map, trying to outposition the slower Broodlord army. It's really fascinating to watch.
Yeah, I think it is important here that he's thinking of recall as an offensive resource rather than a defensive one.
100%.
And it does make a lot of sense when you put it that way. It has bought himself a lot of time. It feels like he's never really been penned back into defending his key bases.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just because of how aggressive he's been, RagnaroK has had a hard time forcing him to turn around, other than, of course, the top right-hand base that went down. Meanwhile,
You got the hive.
you got the hive. Let's go.
Oh, but RagnaroK already made a... Wait, is that... Yeah, he already made a lair. He already had a lair in the bottom right here, and that's going to be turning into the hive now.
Yeah, he knew it was a lost cause. It would go down eventually, but here we go. herO once again pushing in with his army, forcing a reaction. RagnaroK is repositioning.
Yeah, beautiful stuff once again. The High Templar is just a little bit stuck here behind the Archons. Not going to be able to get the feedbacks that they need on those Vipers. So 2 carriers going down for free here. And what is herO going to be replacing that with?
We'll see as we do have a Ling Bane Ultra Rumble here on the right-hand side. Does force a massive recall out of herO. It is going to be able to take this down. But is this where he wants to be, though? Does he want to push in this direction? These are where the fresh mining bases of RagnaroK are. He is going to be moving his whole army over.
Yeah, RagnaroK has drawn the battle lines over his quadrant of the map, and there's Spore and Spine about as far as the eye can see. He's set up quite the wall here.
Oh yeah, Spores and Spine Crawlers all over the place, looking for that fight, looking to take advantage of them. And hero's still looking for a way in here. We'll see if he can find it. He's going to be losing a stray Archon on the right-hand side. His Vipers are looking... Sorry, his High Templar are looking to lead the charge, looking to maybe catch some of those Vipers.
Yeah, just trying to cordon off, make sure that he's not getting anything else yoinked, as he is just going to dip in and out with that Oracle, revelating, keeping an eye on where the Broodlords are at. That seems to be the most important thing for him here, as we do have a few of these feedbacks going off. He will pay the price, losing the 2 High Templar, so it's going to be a little bit of a dance back and forth between these players, trying to get the most value they can out of their Spellcasters. But wow, massive Mothership recall right over the Spores. What a wild move from herO. I really don't know about this.
I don't think I like it, Fluffius. The Mothership's going to be going down. We eat a massive power bomb to the face as well. The carriers are hurt, and herO has to back off. He recalled into the middle of the map. That was crazy.
The carriers are hurt, but have a look at the Corruptors. Nearly all of them on red health, so RagnaroK actually at a really difficult point here, and I think herO might want to take advantage of that. He is going to be pushing forward. We have massive Novas coming out, trying to take out the Infestors. Going to need to get some really good feedbacks on this, but the Corruptors, they don't have enough health yet. They don't want to join the fight right now.
Yeah, they can't. We have Microbial Shrouds to get on top of those High Templar to take down all of those Storms. It looks like the High Templar have all gone down, except there is one Archon.
Yeah, there is one Archon there, and look at the damage on those Corruptors. So many of them going down, but there's still enough to take out these carriers. And these carriers, despite having a pretty good amount of interceptors on them, they are really struggling to keep themselves alive. We do see herO. He is using the Remax to go into the Blink Stalkers here. This can be a bit of a sneaky kill move, but I think there's too many Broodlords for this to work out.
Yeah, just too many Broodlords. We have the Fungals on these Stalkers as well. They're going to be able to take down 2-3 Broodlords, which is nice. But there are Ultras as well, and the Stalker transition just didn't really work out for herO.
Yeah, okay, so he's going Stalkers, he's going Immortals as well. This is really cute, so anticipating a bit more of an Ultralist commitment from RagnaroK, and going to be pretty much ignoring the Corruptors now. He did kill most of them, and I don't think RagnaroK's going to be rebuilding them. In fact, he's turning most of what he has left into Broodlords, but... no, there we go. Okay, this is genius. So there's so many of these Corruptors here, and herO's just not making carriers.
Yeah, he's not making carries at all. He's going Archon, Stalker, Immortal right now. A massive ground toss transition, and we have too many Corruptors. We have how many? 26 Corruptors. Jesus.
Yeah, RagnaroK has guessed wrong here, and the Archons are just genius here, because those Archons, if they get underneath the Corruptors, underneath the Broodlords, they will kill absolutely everything. So RagnaroK with a huge amount of dead supply, and now he's leading with his Ultras, his most important unit here.
Yeah, the Ultras are getting picked off one after the other. At the same time, on the left-hand side of the map, it looks like the Broodlords are laying siege upon a base, but this base doesn't really matter too much. herO is focusing on the right-hand side.
Yeah, this is just going to delay him, and those Broodlords are so important to defend the units. But no, actually, the Blink Stalker's going to be coming. They'll be blinking straight under, and there is nothing on the ground to to protect the Broodlords. He's going to be sitting everything on top of them to make it hard to click on them. But herO's a little bit too good for that. He is focusing down every single Broodlord. Only 3 remain.
3 Broodlords remain. The Ultras rock up as well. It looks like RagnaroK is going to be able to keep what he can alive. He's trying to morph in more Broodlords, make use of these Corruptors, but at the same time, he's giving up on his fresh mining bases, his most important bases.
Yeah, he cannot engage with this army. There are way too many Immortals, too many Archons. This is a beautiful army for herO here, and it's going to be really tough for RagnaroK to do anything at all about this unless he can get into a really dangerous Broodlord count. But at the moment, it looks like he's only got 6, and we have 12 more Stalkers being warped in for herO. I think herO might have done it here.
Yeah, RagnaroK, he doesn't have any gas. He has run out of any kind of gas mining whatsoever. He cannot morph in any Broodlords. He has 6 Broodlords right now, alongside 22 Corruptors. The Mothership's going to go down again, just, because it has to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's on brand. It's on brand. But at the same time, we have a recall.
It's the
herO
recall.
wants to fight.
Yeah, the recall does get committed here. He is going to be poking forward with the Stalkers. He wants to bait these Ultras out of position, but he might just have enough that he can just go for a big blink and going to be coming forward. The Ultras all getting focused down. There's good spells coming out from the Infestors, but I think it's just not going to be quite enough, especially with the shield battery overcharge here.
Yeah, with the overcharge with the ground toss, GG gets called, and herO will take game number 2, tying up the series.
Oh, dear God.
You're like, ah. Let's go, Bobby. Let's
They
go.
agreed to not play game 3. They're both winners.
And Asher lived happily ever after. Oh.
True. I'm a Terran. It can't be that simple.
Oh my God. No, Bobby, no. We look to appreciate the good. Sometimes you've gotta endure some of the bad, and I mean I'm having a great time here. But
Hey? That was a good game, actually.
Yeah, that was a good game. What are you talking about?
The ending was interesting. The middle
Yeah.
part where they just skipped to the late game was pretty lame, but the ending was cool. It was a good ending.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why I was trying to bring up how herO was playing it out towards the end as well. Like even leading up to that, how flexible, how maneuverable his army was. It was really cool. It's really cool to see. Something again, I want to see more of.
Protoss plays doing things.
But game 3, Papi.
Oh, okay.
And Protoss Play is doing things as well. You know, both.
All right, you started up. I'll be right back.
Oh. You're like, Papi, I'm gonna. Oh, not like this. All right, here we go. We're gonna be loading on into game number 3, which will be taking place on a much smaller map on Neo Humanity. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Uh-oh. And and as we get into the spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean... Oh, I may just have to wait.
Have you not loaded it?
No, OBS. It's not showing, Papi. It's bugging out.
Okay.
It doesn't want to show the game. It's had enough of ZVP.
Oh, herO is proxying 4 gateways in the corner of the map. He's going for the flower.
He's crazy, Bob. He's crazy.
And the game's over. Damn. He missed it.
1 second. We're just experiencing some technical difficulties here. So good. Really, it's because you left, and we want you to experience the beginning of the game, Bob.
Yeah, can't miss a moment.
It's important. It's very important.
It is important.
Yeah.
The Overlord's spawning. They're flying around. They're having a little look-see. The probe is blocking the hatch, you know.
Oh, let's go.
And then things happen, and then Protoss wins.
I mean,
go next.
Because we have a little bit of time to ourselves here, Asher. What have you been up to today? What have you been up to? Talk to us,
man. I was playing a game called Monster Train. It's like a roguelike deck builder. It's very good.
Oh.
I've found more and more that because multiplayer games have rotted my brain and I have 0 attention span, the only single player games I can play now are roguelikes, because you can have the gameplay loop only last an hour, so it's very non-committal. You don't have to remember any story. Like often when you start an RPG, I don't know if you have this, but I'll play an RPG, a new one, for like a few hours the first time I play it, and I'll be getting invested into the story. And then I won't have time to play it for a couple more weeks, and I'll forget the story, and then I'll never touch it again.
Yeah. I definitely understand that. It's difficult because they require such a big investment of time, and we don't really have that anymore, or the way that we used to back in the day. So we just can't really dedicate like that anymore. Yeah, a little bit of a feels bad, man. But despite saying that, though, you have been playing some point and click adventures, though. That they are very story based. You know?
Yeah, I've been playing a bit of those.
Yeah.
I feel like I will do the same thing with those if I don't keep on top of them. But at least, roguelites are always there for you. They're very quick and easy, and they're getting really good now. There's so many good games, like Faster Than Light, Slay the Spire, stuff like that. Binding of Isaac was one of the first ones.
True. The amount of hours I sunk into FTL.
Yeah. Man, it's so good.
So good, Papi. So good. But the issues have been resolved, and we can now get into the ace match. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go.
All right. You can introduce Mr. Birthday Cake Man.
Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Pro Tours player representing KranKy Gaming. Tying up the series 1-1 in that last game, it is herO.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, for Alpha X, it is the South Korean Zerg in the blue, RagnaroK.
Alright, so, you know, game 1, 30 minutes. Game 2, around 30 minutes. Game 3,
More.
30 minutes.
7.
37.
Well, to start off with, hero's actually gone for a no scout here, so he's gone for gas first into a no scout. So just because he's got that extra probe lying around, you can get that gas a little bit earlier. I think that's all there is to the gas first. I don't think it actually changes the builds. But it does also mean that his build is going to be a little crisper than it would otherwise be, and I wonder if that's for any reason.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's because he's going for a timer.
You're like clutching at straws. You're like, Fappy, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna. He's
He no scouted because those extra 50 minerals are going to be so helpful when he goes for the Haas. No charge. Zealot all in.
The slow load all in. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
the
gonna
old
be,
man.
It's gonna be beautiful, Fappy. It's gonna be beautiful. I mean, we'll see how this goes. Another big reason for that no scout as well, I feel like, is because it is Neo Humanity. It is a lot more common for the Zerg players to actually get their natural own location, and because that may not be worth it, as RagnaroK is getting ready to take his third base as well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll keep our eye on herO as his pylon is situated for Stargate, and there's that Stargate.
Yeah, Stargate it is, and this is a pretty aggressively placed one, as you were referring to. Especially on a smaller map like this, should be able to get that Oracle across quite quickly.
Yeah, every second does count here in StarCraft. And did you get your food?
I was gonna snack.
Okay. Did you order food today?
Yeah, just sent.
Oh,
a snack.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
You could have ordered dinner, Pop. Did you get an Oreo? Was the ice cream machine fixed?
No. I had that yesterday. I just ordered it from a further away McDonald's. One of the perks of living in the city.
You're
so
an
many
animal, man. You purposely went to a different Macca's on menu log just to get the Oreos, Poppy. Just for the Oreos. Yeah.
Hey, it can't be broken at all of them.
True. That's amazing.
It's not my first time. This has happened before.
You're like, right? I'm getting my Oreo McFlurry, okay? I don't give a damn what the hell. Like, I don't know. I don't care who I have to order it from, but I'm getting it.
I don't care if I have to bribe the Uber Eats driver himself to go in there and make it.
Go in there and clean the ice cream machine.
Yeah, damn right.
Oh my god. Well, before that happens, we have our, of course, Oracle first. Not really finding too much damage here, not even getting a single drone either. The positioning has been quite on point here for RagnaroK. The depths are showing up though, and that may complicate some things here as they don't commit to the shade, just keeping RagnaroK busy.
Yeah, this is a very defensively favorable map, and you're seeing that hero's having some difficulty finding good angles to hit from, and RagnaroK just doing his due diligence as well, getting a spore in every base. Not going to be skipping out on anything like we often see the European players doing. Just wants to play very safe against the more aggressive herO.
Yeah, and I feel like this makes a lot of sense as well, especially considering he's playing against herO. Like, he knows that, mate, if at any moment he doesn't have a Spore Crawler, he will be punished for it by herO and by his just insane Oracle control. So a lot of respect being shown here, a lot of respect being given, and herO is indeed moving out with those triple Oracles.
Yeah, that he is, and he might be able to go for a big dive with here. Might even be able to take out some queens. Yeah, the queen's a little bit out of position. Looks like they don't quite have the energy for transfuse, and one of those is going to be going down right away. Is he going to dive for the second one? He kind of does a little bit of indecision, almost loses him that Oracle there, but behind this, going into blink this time rather than charge. I thought it was definitely interesting in that last game. Despite going into charge, he put such a low commitment on his attack.
Yeah, he went into charge and very quickly he started teching up. It's like, oh, okay. Definitely interesting move in that last game. This game is going to be a lot more decisive with his Blink Stalkers. You can be that much more assertive on Neo Humanity as well, just because of how small the map is. And we'll see how he can make use of that as he is able to get his third base up and running.
Yeah, Oracle's going to be sharking around, just keeping an eye on these Lings, making sure they're not up to anything too out of order. And we are going to be getting, the fourth coming down from RagnaroK. And herO is just using these Oracles to keep an eye on all of this.
Up to no good.
What did I say?
No, yeah, don't worry.
He's got the select the Oracles. He's got traffic light Oracles. I love it.
Oh, he does. Green, red, and yellow. It's beautiful.
Oh, well now that it's just green, red, and red.
Feels bad, man. No, just the way that you said it, I thought you were gonna go into the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song, and it's just been playing in my head the whole time.
Wait, what? I still can't remember what I said.
When you were talking about the links, you're like,
in West Neo Humanity, born and raised on the watchtowers where I spent most of my days.
Beautiful, Papi, beautiful. Did you actually watch Fresh Prince?
Watched a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
As far as like midday TV that's a bit meh.
You're like, as good as it can be, it was not bad.
yeah. Like that kind of show is usually pretty low quality. It's just something you have on in the background.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, well, I could sit down and watch an episode, which is high praise for something like that. But just like that, herO going to be losing both of those red oracles. So little bit of miscontrol coming out from him. Maybe not expecting so many queens to be at the fourth.
Yeah, RagnaroK reading the movement so well here, being at that fourth base with all his queens. Meanwhile, a great scout as well. The Spire has been confirmed by herO. He's fully aware of the potential of Mutas, but man, he doesn't care because he's setting up for a massive attack. We have Storm on the way as well as that War Prison.
Yeah, so this is kind of the moment that all Neo Humanity games seem to culminate in, where we have both players breaking down the rocks, going towards their opponent's third, probably breaking the rocks through the middle as well. I think they might even help each other here, which would be very sweet. But
teamwork.
Yeah, they haven't quite decided yet who's attacking who.
Yeah, I mean, RagnaroK doesn't even see, by the way. He doesn't see that the rocks have been weakened, and there we go. Finally has confirmation that they have been brought down, and who's going to be the aggressor? That's kind of the question here. Nice controller. Does take down one of those Ravagers.
Yeah, the Ravager does go down. I was about to call it a RagnaroK, so I do need a little bit of help in the brain, but we're not going to be having herO setting up here on that high ground, and if he can bait these Banelings in towards these High Templar, that could be a massive storm. But wow, RagnaroK sends a Link Scout forward. He sees where the High Templar are. That was huge.
Well, he does confirm the High Templar from the right-hand side. We have those storms being banked up here for herO. At the same time, a Baneling counterattack is being set up on the right-hand side, but here we go. The Banelings are rolling forward.
Yeah, Bane Speed kicks in. We do see as well, RagnaroK has been neglecting his upgrades a little bit. He has +1 range, and that is it.
Yeah, +1 melee is still only just now on the way. Before that happens, though, we have our engagement in the middle of the map. The Banelings are being saved for a bit of a later date. Looks like RagnaroK is actually trying to come in from behind.
Yeah, RagnaroK really wants to find an angle with these Banelings. He is going to get in on this base, but there's nothing here. He might have enough to take out the Nexus, but no, big surround going to be coming down. I love that herO had the presence of mind to get this War Prism out here and save all these High Templars, and now he's threatening to drop those on the Banelings.
Yeah, very hot pick up there with those High Templars. Saves everything. We have the full surround as well. The Blink Stalkers take down every single Ling, soon to be every Roach and every Ravager as well, and we still have Storms banked up.
Yeah, he doesn't even pull the trigger on the Storms. He is so cool under the gun here, and nice little splits with the Stalkers as well. He's just styling on him. He says, I don't even need the Storms. I'm going to beat you with my hand behind my back here.
Yes, so the hits, the hand of the arm, both hands even, really, because there are so many Storms available here, and there we go. We finally have them on the Morphing and Banelings. They will not finish. herO is breaking on through.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Just so disciplined there, saving those Storms, and gets incredibly high value Storms with them in the end.
Yeah, he really does. Roaches are trickling on in to defend. The Archons are being morphed in as well to help buffer and help tank some of those shots. And the Blink Stalkers will be able to clean up everything else behind this. The transfusions are okay, but it's not going to be enough. GG gets called, and herO takes the series 2-1.
GG, beautiful game there from herO. Even stays behind just for a little bit, just to clean up the rest of it with the Stalkers. Having a bit of fun there. Love to see it.
In my mind, like, beautiful game from herO. Sub 20 minutes. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Stunning.
The hero of my heart.
Uh-huh.
Making my head.
What's the Marie Kondo thing?
Excuse me?
The Marie Kondo, the lady that does the organizing your house thing. God, what was the meme? You're no help, lad. I'm gonna look it up.
An organizing house? What? Who? What are you talking? I don't know this person. I'm looking.
There was like a TV show about decluttering and organizing your house.
Marie,
like tidying. She's like an expert in tidying, and her show got really popular. Box Joy, thank you.
I've never heard of this before.
How do you know?
I've never heard of this before. What are you talking?
You haven't seen the meme that this sparks joy, this does not spark joy?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. When was this?
It's the decluttering technique. It's how to stop yourself from hoarding. You get your item and you ask, does it spark joy? And if it doesn't spark joy, throw it in the bin.
You yeet it out.
Get rid of it. It's gone. Massive bonfire behind your house.
Does Starduck spark joy? Oh.
In the fire.
Oh, smooch.
They're gonna say StarCraft. So like, oh, you're asking questions you don't want the answer to here.
Not like this. When was this Spark Joy thing? I'm looking this up. This is like 2021. This is like recent.
Yeah, 2021. Like start of COVID, pretty much.
I don't watch TV shows. Current year. Jesus.
How do you miss memes?
What do you mean? I don't go to Reddit.
I don't get it from Reddit. Look, I get it from people.
Look, you're like the memeiest person I know. Okay, if you're not sparking me joy, then I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Fine. Let's move on.
Oh, with that, congratulations, GG. herO does take down RagnaroK 2-1, and he moves on to the semi-finals. And now we have 2 semi-finals before us. And I guess it would make the most sense here if we did follow suit, as herO is going up against Maru.